What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise Postgame show presented by Sleeper. Today, your Portland Trail Blazers beat the shorthanded Los Angeles Lakers by a final score of 122 to 108 as Drew Holiday has a terrific second half, leading the way with 24.6 assists, 5 rebounds. Denny Avdia has another great game himself, and the Blazers hold off Austin Reeves, who's playing like an absolute superstar lately. With the Lakers down Luka and LeBron, the Blazers are able to take care of business behind their staunch defense as they force 23 turnovers. This is a regular occurrence, the Blazers forcing 20-plus turnovers. They do it again tonight against this Laker team, second night of a back-to-back, shorthanded, and the Blazers take care of business to move to 2-2 on the year, back to 500, and hopefully the Blazers can win their next game against the Utah Jazz to be above 500 for the first time in like 3 years. That'd be pretty cool. Eric, what's going on, man? How's your night treating you?
What's up? Better than last night since the Blazers actually won.
Much better than last night. Much better than last night. Absolutely.
Yeah. This game, they get the W. That's the most important part. But there's some good and bad to talk about, of course. Just, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy that they took care of business. They won by 14. They were favored by only 3.5 before this game, which I thought was crazy. So they covered the spread. They took care of business. There's some very good moments in this game. I think there's a couple guys that are struggling right now, unfortunately, and there's a couple guys that are playing great basketball. So we're gonna dive into all that and going to try and keep this postgame show a little bit later because it was a 7:30 p.m. tip-off time. So, we're going live a little bit late in the evening today. So it's going to be fun to break this one down. I plan on dropping a video tomorrow going into doing a quick recap. I'm planning on doing off-day videos, so stay tuned for that. But happy to break down a Blazer win as always, man, and happy to beat DeAndre Ayton because in a game like this, I was very pleased with the center that we have versus the center that they now have. I'll just say that. Aiden made some of those little mid-range shots, but that was, I think, a good indication of why I like having Donovan Clingan as centers. He has a strong game, 16 points, 14 boards, played with great effort out there, and the team was playing much better, it felt like, when he was in the game as well. So he gets a lot of run there in the second half, which I was happy with. And then Drew Holiday, absolutely masterful, man. He kind of just walks around the court and gets buckets. I've been very pleased with his offensive game. He's looking a little bit more like the Drew Holiday that was in Milwaukee than the Drew Holiday in Boston. He even went on a heater from three, knocking down 3 threes in a row in the second half. It's been a while since we've had a Blazer knock down 3 threes in a row. The Blazers, as we've lamented, are not the best shooting team, and that showed up in the first half where they really could not buy a bucket for stretches, and the Lakers also shot terribly. The Blazers able to take care of business. The Blazers were the healthier team. They win a game they should have won. This is the type of game that maybe they would have lost in years prior. So happy with the performance of some players today. There's still some stuff that needs to be cleaned up for sure, as we're in only game 4 of the regular season. But Drew Holiday and Denny Avdia have been great this season, and they showed that again tonight.
And Donovan Clingan, I put him in that.
Yeah, I've been very, very, very happy with Clingan. He's not the highest usage guy as well, but he's been very, very solid. But the offense right now, it's Drew Holiday and Denny Avdia. When those guys are going, the offense is okay. If those guys go quiet for a stretch or subbed out of a game, the offense really, really struggles. So those two guys have been absolutely crucial for this offense so far.
Yeah, and we knew we'd have to lean on them, especially with Scoot out for a while. But we didn't think we'd have such struggles from Shaden Sharp. So they've really had to step up and make some tough baskets because we're not getting much from a couple of our other starters there. Tamani hasn't been good on offense either.
No.
And Sharp continued to struggle tonight. He hit a few shots there in the fourth quarter. Just got to hope that at some point he gets going. But, Grant and Denny, and then Grant off the bench I'd also throw him in that group of that's really carrying us at times right now. Those guys have been really good this season, and just got to keep winning games like this. This would have been a really tough loss with how many people were out for the Lakers. So it's just good to see them get it done, and primarily with defense and clutch shot making.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Grant off the bench has been a shot in the arm offensively, man. Where was this guy last year? He just took last year off, I guess, and now he's back to scoring the ball at a really, really high level. Had a couple nice passes in this game as well. 3 steals, 3 boards, 3 assists with 22 points for Jeremy. We can start with the good. We can start with the bad. I'll let you choose. We're going to rifle through some players here. Maybe talk a little bit about like the way this team played, although I feel like that's similar to previous postgame shows. This team forces a crap ton of turnovers. So many turnovers forced in the backcourt. They forced multiple 8-second violations. The Lakers turn over the ball, I said 25 times. I was looking at the box score, not the total team stats. 25 turnovers for the Los Angeles Lakers in this one. The Blazers so far early on in the season are easily the top team in terms of forcing turnovers, and that stat's going to look even better after tonight. 25 is a ton of turnovers. Like, the Blazers turned over the ball a lot for their own right. 19 normally is a lot of turnovers, but when you're turning over the other team even more, it's kind of like, okay, that's the type of game it was, and that's the type of game the Blazers like to play, where it's just like kind of chaotic back and forth, and they're embracing the chaos. Their motto going into the season was make them uncomfortable, and sometimes they make all of us uncomfortable, but the Lakers were definitely uncomfortable tonight.
You know what's crazy, though? You force 25 turnovers and only have 9 fast break points. That's almost impossible in my opinion. Like, how does that even work? And we gave up more points than we gained off of turnovers. So it's just weird, man. So they do have to do a better job of taking advantage of the turnovers they're creating. But also, I mean, can we stop with the just dribbling up top and just losing the ball to the defender? Sharp's done it several times this season. Denny's done it several times this season. I really wish they would cut those turnovers out of their system. But in terms of forcing turnovers, we know this defense is predicated on that, and they're really doing a really good job of being aggressive. I especially liked the pressure in the backcourt in this game without a true point guard for the Lakers. Yeah. Forced them into several 8-second counts, and then was just forcing them to get out of their offense and not being able to set it up very easily. So I really like that aspect of their defense tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You would like to see more than 9 fast break points. This is very strange. Very strange.
How do you only get 9 out of 25 turnovers, dude? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. This is such a Blazer game where they are great on the offensive glass, 19 offensive boards. They force a lot of turnovers, but then inexplicably give up more points off turnovers and only score 9 fast break points. And then they still win the game. Good free throw shooting from the Blazers tonight, but we talked about last game how many more free throw attempts they had than the Clippers. The Lakers had 11 more than them today. But you just look at that three-point shooting number. This is not a good three-point shooting Lakers team. 7 for 27 from 3. I think the Blazers did a decent job of like running out at guys, though. I think they did a much better job tonight than they did last night, where they left some Clippers players just wide open from 3, where they weren't making that final rotation out to the corner. And there was still a couple instances today where they were leaving corner shooters open and the Lakers just weren't making them pay. So it's always nice to be able to outshoot a team from 3. I think, everybody says that's what the NBA game is, whoever shoots better from 3. The Blazers make 7 more threes today, but they shoot a lot more. Early on in this game, like 10 of their first 21 shots were 3. I believe they were 2 for 10 from 3, and it was like, man, that you're supposed to be a team that drives downhill, gets to the rim, and they at times will settle for a lot of threes. I think shooting 32.6% from 3 isn't even good. That's not even good. That's would be one of the bottom marks in the league for a total season. But for the Blazers, it's like, if they're doing the other things well, I hope that they could make 32, 33% of their threes, especially if they're going to shoot 43 of them, because that's a lot of threes to get up. You look at the Lakers, they shoot 27. The Clippers, I believe, shot less than 43 last game. So the Blazers have shot a decent amount of threes, considering their strength is attacking the rim, getting downhill, getting in the paint. But I don't know. There's certain guys that I want shooting the threes, There's certain guys that I don't want shooting the threes right now. So the guys I want shooting are Denny Avdia and Drew Holiday. Those guys have shot the three ball well to start this season. Drew and Denny were on fire today. Denny starts 5 for 5 from 3. His shot looks really good after going 0 for behind the arc on opening night, and he scores 25. So he's, looking like maybe he's a 24, 25 point per game scorer. Just looking at the first 4 games, he's been 20 points or more in every single game. So I really like that out of Denny. But the 3-point shooting, his 3-point shooting, Grant's 3-point shooting, and Drew's 3-point shooting, those are the guys that can knock down threes right now. Everybody else, Tamani, he's struggling with the shot right now. Shaedon Sharpe, he's 0 for 6 today. He's struggling with his shot. Klingen's made a couple threes early in the season, but I don't know. I don't know exactly where he is for a full season as a shooter. Off the bench, you're bringing in Blake Wesley. They played Caleb Love some tonight. So you got 3 guys to rely on shooting the ball right now. They're consistently coming through every night. Drew, Denny, and Jeremy. What happens when Jeremy has an off night, or Drew has an off night, or Denny has an off night shooting the ball? I don't really want to know because it's probably going to be a struggle. But I've been very pleased with just how consistent those guys have been early on this season producing offensively.
Yeah. Would you believe that Drew is shooting 31.6 from 3 going into this game, though?
I know he struggled opening night. There was one game he struggled.
Yeah.
So after tonight, he goes, 4 for 7, so he's probably like 35, 36%.
Yeah, right where he needs to be.
Here's the thing. He shot like 35% last year, and he had a lot of open threes. He's hitting some tough threes. He hit some tough threes today, some contested threes. Got Ayton on a switch, pulled up in his face, hit a deep contested 3. That's what I like about Drew so far this season is when he was contested last year, his 3-point shooting numbers were awful. He's looking comfortable shooting some tougher threes so far this season. And he's not flying off of screens or shooting like crazy tough pull-ups, so he doesn't really need to. He got up 7 tonight in 30 minutes. It's not just like open standstill threes. And he's obviously, we kind of had this conversation before the season, like, is he somebody that teams have to respect as a shooter? So far this season, he's somebody you have to respect as a shooter. He's made enough threes.
Trevor did the math. It's 38.5 now.
Yeah. You can't just leave him open. I mean, even when he's guarded, he knocked down threes tonight. So he's a floor spacer. Denny's spacing the floor right now. Grant's spacing the floor right now. Those 3 guys are the spacing on this team right now.
Yeah, for sure. Thibault was out because they're resting him in second nights of back-to-backs with is it a hip issue or something?
Yeah.
But yeah, they just aren't playing him in back-to-backs right now.
Which is fine. He's. I feel like we haven't talked enough about Thibault real quick. He has had a positive impact every time he's on the floor so far this season.
Oh, so, absolutely.
I was a little worried about him not playing today, considering some of the other options. But like with his 15 minutes a game, he's brought a spark every single time he's stepped on the floor. And the team has gone on runs when he stepped on the floor. So given his injury issues, I'm obviously completely fine with him taking the second night of a back-to-back off.
Man, some much maligned players on this show have been really good so far. Grant coming off the bench has been phenomenal. Chris Murray has been arguably better than Shaedon Sharpe so far this year. And Thibault has been excellent as well.
Chris Murray was brutal tonight, but
I mean,
his defense was good, but offensively
he had some huge plays in this game.
He's 1 for 5 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3. Like I'm not gonna spend more than 15 seconds on Chris Murray, but had that play where he caught the ball around the rim, could have went up for an easy layup, didn't, and then kind of circled around and shot like a 3-foot floater and almost airballed. Like this was a rough Chris Murray game offensively, but yeah, he's been particularly good this year. And The defense is good enough. He had 5 boards as well in his 24 minutes. So, like, doing the little things, and his offense has been good enough that I'm okay with a 1 for 5 night. The problem is last season it was, like, every night. So, yeah, it is weird, Sharp's struggling, and a lot of guys that I wasn't super high on coming into the season are playing well.
Dude, and then I want to talk about this right now. Tiago's kind of losing me with some of his rotations and players he's playing. Caleb Love, like, really? That's who you turn to? And why are you playing him with Blake Wesley? Like, that almost cost us the game if we ended up losing this game.
Yeah. Caleb Love in 11 minutes got up 10 shots.
Yeah.
10 shots in 11 minutes, man. Like, he makes Shaden Sharp look conservative. I don't understand that. That backcourt is questionable. I understand, like, I guess I understand giving Caleb Love a shot when you got guys injured and guys out, but they're really not playing guys super heavy minutes. Like, Denny plays 32 minutes. I know there's like a minute and a half of garbage time, but this has kind of been the theme so far this season. Instead of the normal, like, our starters in a close game are going to play 38, 39 minutes that we've seen under Chauncey, they aren't playing that heavy of minutes. Tomani played 30 minutes, Denny played 32, and I think part of it is the style of ball they're playing, so I guess that gives more opportunity for guys like Caleb Love, but I don't understand Caleb Love and Blake Wesley in the backcourt together. It was not a fun experience.
Yeah, and guys, Caleb Love is not a shooter. No matter how much you try to convince us that he has never been a shooter. He's never shot a good percentage. Like, yeah, he thinks he's a shooter, as evidenced tonight. But
he's a shooter like Shaden Sharp is a shooter right now.
Yeah.
The bench. Here's the thing, man. Like, the bench has played well enough where they don't get run off the floor, and that's pretty much all I can ask for right now. Like, Jeremy is the guy that I really trust right now, as crazy as that sounds. Like, he's producing every single night. Right now, if I had to pick a 6th man of the year off of 4 games, it would be Jeremy Grant. Everybody else, like Chris Murray, okay. Matisse Thybulle, like, okay, they fit into the style of play, but they're not good offensively. Maybe they do one thing well offensively, like Thybulle has knocked down a couple threes this year, but other than that, right, they're not good offensively. And then you got Young Hansen, who is not NBA ready at all. He played 9 minutes. Blake Wesley, who offensively is very brutal. And then Caleb Love coming into the game. Like, just the fact that they're holding serve, even though it was not an impressive Lakers bench on the other side of things, like, until Scoot's back and until Robert Williams is back, it's kind of just my hope that they can, like, not get run off the floor.
So, do you think? Because, like, obviously we can all agree, like, even if Robert Williams comes back, you can't depend on him for the entire season. Like, I would love for that to be the case, but you can't necessarily plan for that, even if he starts playing well. So at some point, if they are in the playoff race, are we gonna have to trade for a big man?
I mean, there's always buyout guys that are serviceable enough, if Yusuf Nurkic is on the buyout market and he can be your 3rd string behind Robert Williams for a playoff run, like, I don't hate that.
Yeah.
As much as a lot of Blazer fans would hate that, like, you just need somebody that can just chew up minutes and not ruin games. Like, Young Hansen is not NBA ready enough. Like, he was very brutal in his minutes offensively and defensively in this game. And he, right now, most games looks like a guy that's just going to hurt you. I understand playing him for developmental reasons. I'm fine with that. But unless he develops this season to the point where you're not worried about him hurting you when he's in the game, then if the Blazers are competitive enough, then they're probably going to have to figure out a backup plan, assuming that Robert Williams isn't able to stay healthy.
Let me be clear with this. I do still think Young has a chance to be a really solid player. It's just people thought he was ready to play right away. And you and I both thought he wasn't, and we took a lot of heat for that, like normal. But it's just defensively is you can see the difference between having a rim protector or someone who knows how to space the floor defensively, or where to position yourself on the floor defensively is what I meant to say. And, can get tough rebounds in traffic and things like that. Unfortunately, Young he's a little lost on defense. He doesn't quite know where to position himself. He doesn't quite know where to go on his rotations on the pick and roll. He's kind of unsure of who to guard or who to tag or whatever. And so until that improves, this is exactly why he's not playing any meaningful minutes in second halves of games, because he absolutely just is not ready for that. And also, he came back in the game and was tired almost instantly within like a minute or two. Looked like he was gassed. Still, for me, it's always been a patience thing. Like, it's going to be a more of a project time sort of thing with him. A lot of people thought he was going to come in and be Jokic right away, and that was just crazy to me, because he doesn't have the he's not as NBA ready as some of the other bigs have been recently, and hopefully that can change. And like you said, I don't mind if you can get away with playing him a few minutes just to get him, up and down, running, acclimated, some reps in the NBA. But if we're going to win close games and stuff, I don't know how much you can play him at this point.
Yeah, which is fine. There's a lot of people excited for him, and they're excited for the upside, and it's going to take some time to develop him into the player that we all hope he can be. And we're just going to have patience with him, right? Like, nobody should be freaking out about him. Nobody should be worried about him. When I see Cedric Howard playing great, and that's a guy I loved in the draft and had really highly rated and would have rather taken than Young Hansen, it's kind of hard to see him in Memphis crushing it, looking like he could potentially be a star, and then Young, is a project big. But at the end of the day, the Blazers made the decision they made. They got their guy, and we have to see if they were right in Young Hansen being their guy or not. And it's going to take a few years to get to that point. He needs to get in better shape, just like Klingon did. And shout out to Klingon. He did a great job getting in better shape, and he's been really, really solid so far this year. So let's talk about a couple positive things here. Since we brought up Klingon, 16 points, 14 boards, had a couple assists, couple of blocks, plus 21 when he was in the game. 8 for 12, was 0 for 3 from 3, but he had been knocking down threes. I had no problem with the threes that he took, considering this already is not a good three-point shooting team. Like, I feel like he could be a 31, 32% three-point shooter this year, and you're never going to be a shooter if you never shoot. So, if he has a 0 for 25 stretch, might be singing a different tune, but given that he's knocked down some threes and his shot does look a little better than last year, I'm okay with the threes he shot. It's not like he's airballing, right? Tamani was 0 for 3 from 3 today as well. So 8 for 9 inside the arc. His finishing looks better. The putback he got where he kind of like faded away on a little like push shot and knocked it down, you can tell his touch around the rim is a lot better, and he's not like just throwing crap up around the rim, which I really like. 26 minutes, 16 points. Like, this defense is just solidified with him behind it. When they go small and try and force a lot of turnovers, sometimes they do, but when that backfires, I feel like they struggle defensively without having the rim protector behind all that pressure and that aggressive defense on the perimeter. Things just feel a lot more solid with Klingon in the game, where if somebody gets beat, he's there to deter, and guys can kind of fill in and rotate, and there's a lot of possessions where I feel like teams would be getting to the rim when they beat our pressure, and they're not when Klingon's in the game. So controlling the glass, 7 offensive rebounds. He's probably a top 5 offensive rebounder in the league right now. And the defense was great. You look at Ayton on the other side of things. He had 16 points. I think 10 of them were against Young. 8 rebounds. He had like a typical Ayton game, 8 for 15, but some of like the soft finishes around the rim, some of the defensive moments. I still truly think Donovan Clingan's a better player than him, a more impactful player for winning, and considering, this team was on fire with him in the game, plus 21 in 26 minutes. You at least saw it tonight. Now, Ayton didn't have much help around him outside of Austin Reeves, but that's another story.
Man, you mentioned the finishing. Shout out to him. I don't know if it's just because he's taking good shots or whatever, but he just seems so much more comfortable around the hoop. He's positioning himself better. He's taking his time and not throwing up any kind of like weak crap. It's all like dunks or like really solid shots. And it looks really nice right now. And he's working his butt off out there, going for rebounds. He had several that he might not get credit for, but he tips and the Blazers get a possession. Man, I really like his activity on both sides of the court around the rim. I feel like it's been fantastic. And the 3-point shot is like just the bonus to me. Like if he ends up becoming a 3-point shooter and shooting, a decent, 30 to 35% from 3, occasionally could knock one down. That's great. If not, I still think he's a really good player and really useful player. And so that's just the extra sauce. But right now, man, it feels we've had our moments playing small ball, and that is effective to do at times. But I find myself after a few minutes being like, man, we need Clingan back in the game. Where's Clingan? You can just tell how much it like settles the defense down and just kind of neutralizes the game when he's back in there.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I feel like having Thibault out there with the small ball lineups is much better than without having Thibault out there, because if you're playing small with the style of play Portland plays with, you want to force a lot of turnovers and get out and run. You don't want them to be able to get the ball down low to a big if a big's in the game, and then that big just to go to work. So you kind of have to fly around and play passing lanes and try and force turnovers, bringing the ball up and that sort of thing. And Thibault's great for that. I feel like tonight, they still did that without Thibault, but idealistically, if you're going to go small with no Clingan, you want 5 great defenders. You want 5 guys that can force turnovers and fly around and switch and all that good stuff. So, I've been a little harsh on Thibault, but I think for the style of play the Blazers are playing with and for those small ball lineups, he really serves a purpose, because you have other defenders to do the on-ball stuff. Like Thibault should be guarding, in my opinion, the worst offensive player more often than not, so that he can leave them and roam and fly around and not get punished, so he can do all that stuff, because he's really good at that stuff. When he's guarding a really good offensive player and trying to do that stuff, that's when you can get burnt. So, going forward, that's something I'd look for.
Well, the other thing Tease is doing a really good job of is getting back and knocking the ball away or getting a steal in transition. And that's something that the Blazers have really struggled with in previous years, is simply getting back on defense and preventing the other team from getting an easy bucket. And we've had several. This happened a couple times tonight too without Thibault, but it's always funny when we have like a horrible turnover, but then we hustle back and get a turnover back.
Yeah.
And Thibault seems to be really good at, or have a knack of doing that.
Yeah, I love how this postgame we just start talking about the guy that didn't play today.
Didn't even play,
yeah. Yeah. I've been very pleased with Drew offensively. As I said earlier, he plays a style of offense that I hope somebody like Scoot can learn, somebody like Sharp can learn, right? He's never sped up. He's always moving at his own pace, and he uses his body really well. And then, it's just that veteran style. There's some like CP3 mid-range stuff in there, I feel like. And it's really, really good. Just the control that he brings to this offense, I think, is very important. because with a lot of young guys, a lot of athletic guys still learning how to play at this level, especially on the offensive end, I think it's really easy to get too chaotic, especially when you're forcing turnovers and the game's super super sped up. The Blazers having Drew Holiday as that guy that can slow things down in the half court when there's not an opportunity and create and make a nice pass. He had a really nice pass to Klingen, a lob pass to Klingen that he set up just by basically kind of walking into a little sidestep 12-footer and getting Ayton to come out at him and just lobbing it over the top to Klingen, right? Like, if that's Shaedon Sharpe right now, Shaedon Sharpe's missing a 14-foot fadeaway mid-range jumper. Outside of the last, he made his last 4 shots to end this game. So hopefully that's a sign of better things to come for Shaedon Sharpe. But, you get my point, right? Like, if that's Grant even. Grant's been scoring the ball well, but that's a mid-range fadeaway. With Drew on the floor, like, he knew exactly where he was going with that ball. He drew the big and lobbed it right over the top to Klingen. Might seem like a simple play to people, but sometimes you got to just make the simple plays instead of the tough plays. And it feels like at times there's a lot of players on this team that try and make the tough play and make the tough shot before making the easy pass. And just having Drew as that guy that, he made tough shots in this game. That little left-handed scoop shot finish that he had in the paint late in this game was a beautiful move, like the craftiness. But I just love the pace that he plays out where he's never sped up. Doesn't really have to work too hard to get to his spots, gets to his spots and then knocks down shots. I didn't really know what to expect of him offensively, especially with him being older. But he seems like you look at the way he scores the ball offensively, he doesn't need speed. He doesn't need quickness. It's just that veteran guile. And he can play slow and still get to spots and still make shots. So I'm not really worried about his offensive game like I thought I might be coming into this season, worrying about, him falling off or that sort of stuff. At some point, he's going to decline offensively, and he's probably not the same offensive player he was in Milwaukee, but been very pleasantly surprised with how productive he's been offensively so far this season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's weird because you mentioned how he doesn't get sped up. But like the whole point of the Blazers system this year is to play sped up. But it's not like he's like purposely slowing us down from speeding up. He's just so much under control when he has the ball. And it's like a different type of not being sped up. It's like he's playing fast, but not like the flow of the game isn't moving fast for him. It seems to be moving really slow.
Yeah, fast but under control and like calm.
Yeah, and that is one of the biggest reasons you need a guy with championship experience. I mean, this guy's been through it all. Like nothing's going to phase him out there that he hasn't seen in an NBA game. So, like I really enjoyed the way he's playing, especially tonight, man. He was fantastic. What speaking of Drew though, what did you think of him laying the ball up and not throwing that lob to Shaedon on that fast break? You're muted too, but
there's a defender trailing.
Yeah.
And he saw that defender trailing, but he's not the type for the highlight. He just gets the job done. I'm completely fine with that. I know Shaedon wanted it, but Scoop probably throws that, right? Like, young players want to make a highlight. It's almost good to have that veteran that's just like, no, I'm just going to lay it up. Like just all about business, So I like that. If there was no defenders trailing the play, maybe it would have been cool if he threw it. It would have been a fun play. But at the end of the day, 2 points is 2 points. You're trying to win basketball games, not make highlights.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it either. The only thing I'll say is with Sharpe struggling, maybe getting him as many easy buckets as possible, and a huge highlight dunk like that, maybe.
He had one, and he still struggled. He had that one in the first half, right? Yeah. And he was still struggling after that. So, yeah, but I get your point.
I also, not to switch to Sharpe, but his one in the first half, I had a little bit of an issue with it because he got pumped up and was screaming, standing there flexing, and not getting back on defense. And it's like, dude, what are you shooting from the field this year? Like, that was one basket. Like, I don't feel like he should have been celebrating like
I
one.
I don't have an issue with it because I feel like he was taking some anger out.
Yeah, I know.
That's what it felt like to me. Like yeah.
Take your anger out on better shot selection, not freaking your one make that half. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I still understand what they called. I guess he was out of bounds or something. How did they call that? Like 3 plays later, he wasn't actually out of bounds, but they still called it. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah,
They
I don't
They
know.
never explained that one really. They just said they were taking it off.
Super weird. The 1-3 he makes then doesn't count like 5 minutes after he makes it.
Right.
That's just Sharp's luck this year, I guess. But I want to save the Sharp conversation. I want to get through the final positive. Well, there's two final positives. Grant is going to be a quick one because he's just making shots. He's just making shots that he missed last year, but also he's attacking. Like, he is attacking harder than I think I've ever seen him attack in a Blazer uniform. He's had good drives in the past, but how many times in the past does he settle for these mid-range pull-ups? And he's still good for one really bad mid-range pull-up a game, but he's like, there was a play, I forget who was guarding him, but he posted up and was like throwing his shoulder into his defender and then curled right to the front of the rim and finished. And it was like, damn, man, I don't remember him posting up like that. When he posted up in the past, I always felt like a turnaround mid-range was coming. Like he thought he was LaMarcus Aldridge, right? He's driving hard as hell right now, and he's making threes, and that makes his offensive game much more productive than when he's missing threes, of course, like, obviously, but then, you know, getting to the rim, he's finishing. He's able to beat guys to the rim. And there's times where it doesn't seem like he's turning the corner and he gets like this little extra burst on his drive, this little second burst on his drive, and is able to just kind of slither to the rim and is very effective. And that's why his mid-range shot selection the past 3 years drove me crazy. And now he's, you know, he still will shoot one here and there, but it's like, okay, fine, that shot's annoying, but you know, if it's once in a blue moon, it's much better when he's knocking down threes and getting to the rim like he is.
Yeah, 3-pointers and rim shots. That's what I want to see him. Yeah, I like, which he has been, and I think that's been the key. But he's actually making his threes. He did not shoot a good percentage last year, so he's back to making them again, and I think it's opening up his drives again. I will say there was a stretch, the year Dame had his core surgery, where him and Anthony were getting to the free throw line a lot. I remember a game in New York where he got to the free throw. He scored like 40-some points and got to the free throw line a ton. But yeah, I think right now he's making a concerted effort to not settle, and so it's really nice to see him play within the concept of a team. Because I mean, we've been saying this since we acquired him. He is a good player if he does that. Like it's not like he's worthless. Or like can never do anything on the court. Like he has a lot of useful skills as a player. Now he's been used poorly, in my opinion, in his role on defense in his time here. That's changed as he's gotten more perimeter defenders, and that's been good for him. And then offensively, if he sticks to this where he's not forcing a ton of bad shots early in the offense, I absolutely think there's a role for him still. Now you can talk about his contract being not great or whatever, and that's obviously going to be true until the contract's over. But I mean, I've been saying this. I think you're on board with this. It seems like once they acquire Drew, who has a similar contract for the same amount of time, they're not looking to like have him get trade value right now. Like they're not going to be shopping him right now with the way he's playing, in my opinion. We can talk about whether they should or not, but I don't feel like they're going to right now.
I think they know they're not going to get anything back. they would have traded him this offseason if they could have gotten anything back. Like, I don't think they kept him because they wanted to keep him. I think they want to keep him compared to the alternative of having to attach an asset to his contract. And even though he's playing really well, even if he keeps this up, I don't think a team's just going to like want to give stuff up to pay him as he ages, into what, he's 31, 32 right now. As he gets into his mid 30s, like, you don't want to pay him $37 million. Teams don't want to pay him that. They can find other guys that can do, 75% of what Jeremy Grant can do when he's on for 25% of the price, right? So, especially in this new CBA that punishes teams with high payrolls, like, he's just not a guy that makes sense for teams to make moves for where they're giving up any assets. So if you're Portland, it's like attach something to him and then not have that scoring punch off the bench, or just have that scoring punch off the bench and eat the contract. I was somebody that said I want to trade him, but I don't really want to attach an asset to him, and the Blazers are kind of stuck with him for better or worse. Right now it's for better because he's played really, really, really good. I don't really expect him to continue scoring at this rate. Like, he's insanely hot, and at some point he will regress to the mean. But is that as a 40% shooter or a 35% shooter, which he was last year? I don't know. This is better than any 4-game stretch he had last year, though. Like, he looks much better, and he's much more aggressive attacking the rim. So credit to him for making those adjustments and getting his shot back. Long term, the Blazers are stuck with him. And listen, there's worse players to pay a bunch of money to bring this sort of punch off the bench. Like, the Blazers kind of need this offensive punch. So I said going into the season, man, like, his offensive game is perfect to come off the bench as that third forward that can really score the ball on a team that needs scoring and shooting. You just wish, obviously, you weren't paying him that much, but when he has nights like tonight, like, who cares about the contract? He scored 22 points in 28 minutes.
Yeah, but I think what he's doing is why, like, let's say they got offered expirings and a first-round pick for him, or maybe even more than that. Like, I don't know if they're taking that deal. Like, I think they feel like he is a part of, like, why they're potentially going to be successful this year, having that third forward. And unless we get someone like, if it was still Lakers and we got someone like Rui back that could maybe play a similar role like you were mentioning, then maybe. But like, I don't understand how we replace his production if we trade him for an expiring and a pick if we're trying to make the playoffs this year. Yeah,
I mean, maybe they would pass up on that deal and then regret it later, like they did potentially the first time they could have traded him for that sort of deal. You know what I mean? Like, you can't keep chasing things back and forth, right? But yeah, like, he's productive right now. He's probably not going to shoot whatever he's shooting from three for the entire season. Like, what is he shooting from three on the season after today? If Trevin's in chat, Trevin, give me the math. But yeah, he's been absolutely great. This game is going into the 16th inning, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I have it on.
I need to put it on. My my phone died. I need to put it on my other monitor here. This is insane. Absolutely insane.
So what was he tonight? 3 for 7?
3 for 7 from 3.
And before tonight, he was 8 of 16. So he's shooting 47.8%.
47.8%. Yeah, he's probably not going to shoot 47.8% from 3 this season, but if he does, then maybe he's worth that contract.
I mean, outside of last year, though, he's been pretty consistently a 40% shooter.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, but before the last 2 years, he was below that. So I don't know. I don't know. Like, if he can shoot 40% from 3, that's great. If he can drive to the rim like this, that's great as well. All right, I might be a little distracted as I can't believe this game's in the 16th inning, man. This is crazy. The Mariners should be playing right now. I should be stressing out about a 16-inning game right now, Eric.
Yeah. I doubt you'd be on the show right now.
I would not be on this show right now at all. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I love how all the hard hit balls from the Blue Jays are going right to Dodgers defenders. Why couldn't that happen for us? Anyway, the other good player today, Denny Avdia. I mean, it's getting to the point where he's having like quiet 20-plus point games, which is a good side. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he was kind of quiet, and it was like, oh, he's made a couple threes. Oh, he has 20 points. And it's like, okay, cool. Where we're going into the season, like, can he average 20 points per game? 20 points seems easy to him right now. Seems, you know, it seems like he could get 20 in his sleep right now. The shot looks beautiful. Today he was 8 for 17 from the field, 5 for 8 from the three-point line, 4 assists, 4 boards, 25 points. Like, I think he's averaging 20 points per game this year. I'm confident saying that now.
Yeah, pretty easily. I don't necessarily think it was a quiet or whatever. He just was hitting his threes in the first half of this game, and that makes it very easy for him to score 20 points if he's hitting his three consistently.
Well, like this time last year, if he got this sort of game, it would be like, let's go, finally, good Denny Avdia game. Now it's just like, okay, you know, this is getting used to him doing this, which is how you know you've arrived.
Hopefully we're saying the same about Sharp sometimes.
Yeah, do you want to say anything else about Avdia, because Sharp's going to be a more negative conversation?
I mean, he's been great. I mean, he's been really good. He's consistently been our best player since he came back from the bench last year, and it's just awesome to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we transition into talking about Shaden Sharp, I gotta defend my guy Cedric Coward. There's a comment in chat. Coward, it's not like Coward is killing it. 9 points in 25 minutes. This dude is a rookie, averaging 19 points per game in his first 3 games. He just had a game where he was 6 for 6 from 3. He had 9 points in 25 minutes tonight. We're talking about a rookie. Oh, 9 points is not that great, when he had 27 the game before this. Like, Coward's the truth. You will see in due time, if you don't see yet. He's going to be really, really good. Like, he's going to be their next Desmond Bane. Hopefully, Young can be the next Nikola Jokic. We got Vladdy Guerrero eating watermelon in the dugout. We're at the watermelon point of this game.
Also, he came in the game, and coaches felt good enough to put him matched up on Steph Curry in that game. So,
yeah. He's really freaking good.
A lot of coaches wouldn't do that with a rookie. Yeah.
With the lack of shooting this team has, like, he would be in the lineup right now. There's no way he would not be in the lineup right now. What are these camera shots, man? I just see. Oh man, sorry, baseball. But yeah, like, his shooting would be huge off this bench. Like, this team needs a shooter like that. But he'd also fit into all the other things this team does. So I do wish he was in a Blazer uniform. I really wanted him before in the draft. But oh well. I'll be patient with Young. So let's talk about Sharp. Speaking of patience, here's a guy that I guess we have to continue to be patient with in year 4, Eric. Shaden Sharp tonight. Started 2 for 12. He made his last 4 shots, and I think 3 of them were mid-range. So he finishes 6 for 16. You know it's bad when he finishes 6 for 16. And it's like, oh, that wasn't as bad of a shooting night as he's been dealing with. You know, like 6 for 16 is still not efficient, man. And when you look at his turnovers, especially lately, have been brutal. 5 turnovers, only 2 assists. I don't know what his assist-to-turnover ratio is on the season, but I know it's not good.
You said 2 and 5. I think that makes it 8 and 17. 8 assists, 17 turnovers.
Assists to 17 turnovers.
I believe. I'll look it up.
That is correct. I'm looking at the stats right now. That is correct. 8 assists to 17 turnovers. So it's worse than a 1 to 2 assist-to-turnover ratio. Like, it's one thing if he's just missing jumpers, but he's also, like, turning over the ball a ton, not finding teammates, like, not making reads. He He was brutal. The decision making is the thing that I have the biggest issue with right now, Eric. That's the thing I have the biggest issue with, because I understand, like, okay, your 3-point shot's not falling, but you still want to shoot open threes. Like, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll live with going 0 for 6 on 6 open 3-point shots. It's when he's shooting a, like, contested step back when he can't buy a 3, when there's 14 on the shot clock still, or 16 on the shot clock early in the offense. That's the types of shots that he has to realize. When he does not have it going, he cannot be taking those shots. When he doesn't have it going, those are wasted possessions. Those are wasted possessions. And then you look at some of just the awful turnovers he's having. He's not making these turnovers where he's like trying to pass to a teammate. It's like ball handling turnovers. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot
not even being pressure too. He's just like losing the ball off the dribble.
Yeah, or like falling over while he dribbles. There is far too many wasted offensive possessions because of Shaedon Sharpe decision making right now. I understand being in a slump. Being in a slump is different than repeatedly making bad decisions and repeatedly turning the ball over off the dribble. I know it's like a lot of people aren't going to worry about him right now, and it's only 4 games, and I get that, and the only thing I'm a little worried about is the shot still looks flat. We were hoping like, oh, preseason, his shot looks a little bit different. Maybe he's getting a little bit more arc. It looks flat again. It looks like last year. Okay, so I don't think that's good. But then the decision-making stuff, man. Like, he's almost going through what Ant went through last year, where I feel like he's trying to establish himself as a star and just failing miserably. And he's maybe trying a little too hard to score, and that's why he's taking all these bad shots. That's why he's not seeing teammates. That's why he's not reading the games, because he's trying way too hard to assert himself instead of kind of letting things come to him. That's an issue. So I think that's something he can work through, but the decision-making is it's more controllable, right? Like, that's what I have more of an issue with right now than anything else, is just some of the really, really bad decisions he's making.
Yeah, there was like at least 3. It felt like 5. I don't know. I lost track. It's like, dude, why are you shooting that shot with the way you're playing right now? It just does not make any sense, dude. Like, come on. Like, even if you make it, it's not a good shot the way you're playing. And he had a pull up. I don't know if it was towards the end of the first half or one of his. I'm getting mixed up with that and the flurry there at the end. But he had a pull up where he drove, the defender got backed up, he pulled up, had plenty of space, rose up, looked very smooth, nice, easy jumper, hit it. The rest of them are like contested. He's not even like square. He's like leaning to the side, or like his feet are slipping or something, or he cut the stupid catching the ball at the 3-point line, faking the 3, and then jab stepping and then shooting it anyways.
Yeah.
Has he ever hit one of those this season? Like, stop doing that, dude, until you freaking are like a little bit more locked in on your shot. Yeah. Like, it feels like it's like he's becoming Jeremy Grant from last year almost. Like, it's like the offense is running decently at times and he's like killing the flow, man. It's frustrating because I do really feel like he's not that far away from figuring things out. I don't think any of this is like means he's like completely lost or whatever. It's just he just doesn't have a good feel right now.
But what is figuring things out? Is figuring things out where he starts playing to the level that like Norman Powell plays in like a similar game to Norman Powell, just a little bit bigger, right? Where he's like scoring the ball like Norman Powell did last year, like Norman Powell isn't necessarily the best passer. We'll make a assist, we'll set a team up here and there, but other than that, is more of a scorer first. Is that what he, like, when he figures out, is that what he's going to be? Because that archetype doesn't have much value. Norman Powell got traded for next to nothing. And that right now would be a big step up over what we've seen to start this year. So that's where I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, I think this is the year for Shaden Sharp. That's what I said going into this year. I think my long term expectations are going to be molded by how much of a step he takes this year. I hope he still has a step left in him because, there's a lot of guys that can score the ball on slightly below average efficiency that are streaky that, you know, don't necessarily play the best defense. He's had some good defensive moments. He's had a couple bad ones. I've been pleased with his defense so far this year, but I don't think he's ever going to be a lockdown guy, right? There's a plenty of guard scores in the league, and the Blazers kind of need a guard scorer, but that's not the hope for Shane Sharp. The expectations are far above that. He has to be able to shoot because today he struggled turning the corner. Like, he could not beat anybody off the dribble. The one baseline dunk he had was because Jake LaRavia gambled for a steal in the passing lane. So once Shaden Sharp caught the ball, he had wide open floor in front of him to drive the baseline and dunk it, right? And props to him for taking advantage of that instead of like pump faking and wasting time. Like, he hit that seam and got all the way to the rim and threw down a massive dunk for his 1,000th career field goal. Congrats to him. I think youngest Blazer to do it. So he's still 22, still has plenty of time to figure stuff out. But in a game like today, it's like the lack of the three plus not being able to really beat anybody off the dribble that's in front of him was kind of rough to see.
Yeah, and then he had at least two times where he did turn the corner, not necessarily off the dribble, but got downhill. And then like got space cleared out for him, goes to do a layup, and they're not even close to going in. Like, it's so baffling because he was so money at finishing on those. Like, those were all going in last year, and now we can't even like get it close to going in. Like, it's just so weird.
Yep. At the end of the day, like, I hope
So.
Well, you're going to respond to the comment that I was about to respond to. He's the youngest Blazer to 1,000 shots. Give him a break. Listen, if he has that attitude, then he's lost. Then, like, he's never going to be a star caliber player. Like, as an athlete, he should not be sitting here saying, I'm the youngest Blazer to 1,000 field goals. It's okay that I am making bad decisions right now. No, like, this all can be constructive, and it's fine to be constructive. Like, it's fine to sit here and say that he has not played up to the standard set for him the first 4 games of the season. He could turn that around, and when he does, I'll say he turns it around, right? But he has high expectations. He has high standards. He's a very talented player, and the hope is that he figures it all out. The first 4 games have been very, very rough and far worse than he is as a player. Like, his production has been far worse than what it can be. And I think right now he's trying to assert himself a little bit too much. He was 7 for 24 last game in 32 minutes. He's shooting a little bit too much. He needs to take better shots. So this is all constructive stuff that he should probably be hearing. But yeah, like, every game you struggle, there's something to learn from it, especially as a young player. And if you just write it off like, oh, it's just 1 game, oh, it's just 4 games, and like don't care, then you're probably not learning from your failures. Or you're learning from your struggles. Like, the worst thing for him to do is just like, oh, it's just 4 games. I'm going to keep playing this way and keep making these poor decisions and keep turning the ball over almost 5 times a game and keep missing reads and keep missing passes. He needs to get in the film room with the coaching staff and see what he's missing, see where he's struggling, and improve. That's what you do from games like this. You don't just sit here and say, oh, it's only 4 games. It doesn't matter. I have 1,000 field goals. It doesn't matter. That's not how you get better. So, I know a lot of people will have that attitude for him, but that's not how he's going to become the best version of himself. Not with that attitude. So, I think he needs to. I think he needs to try a little bit less to assert himself as a scorer, which is kind of crazy because there's times last year where I felt like he wasn't assertive enough. Now I feel like he's trying too hard to force some things. The second he stops trying so hard to force things, you'll be surprised how much more he scores and how much more efficiently. Like, that's when things will come to him. And it's funny in sports when you let things come to you instead of trying to force things, how they'll far more often work out in your favor.
Yep. I saw a comment in chat. Sharp wasn't good last year. I don't know what you're talking about. If that was referring to any part of the conversation we were just having, the part I was referring to with Sharp being good was his finishing around the rim. and
Yeah.
it was elite last year.
Yeah.
You're not being truthful if you don't agree with that. By
There
every
was
metric, his finishing around the rim was good. So, and it's fallen off the cliff this year.
yeah.
It's probably not as good as it was last year, but it can't be as bad as it is this year. So, like, I do still feel like he'll be a good finisher around the rim, and I think that's the difference between him and Norman Powell. I think he does have that element of his game where he could get some crazy shots off that Norman Powell can't get because of his size.
Yeah.
But I just they're not even close to going in right now, and I'm just baffled every time he smokes a wide open lay-in and he throws it off the backboard and it doesn't even hit the rim.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
what is that?
Yeah. It's bad. I mean, yeah, the difference between him and Norm is that, but then Norm's also a 40% 3-point shooter. So
Yeah, of course.
Like, he's never really contributed to winning basketball. Last year, he did score 18.5 points per game, which is a step forward, but it was still below average efficiency. So, like, there's still a lot of work to be done. Last year, defense was a struggle. I think his defense has been better this season, and his effort has been better outside of a couple plays where he, like, gave up. Every time somebody does an up and under or a step through in the post, he seems to give up. Everything else, effort-wise, has been good defensively. I don't really have much issues there outside of a couple plays. And, you know, the playmaking is not at the level that I want it to be. Like, everything leading up to the season has been flashes, but never, like, consistently productive and conducive to winning basketball. If he can score 18, 19, 20 points per game efficiently, then that scoring is a lot more valuable because you're scoring that amount in less possessions, which means other possessions go to other guys that are also scoring, right? Efficiency is the name of the game. So if he can score more efficiently, great. If he can, wow, that was crazy. If he can make plays for others more consistently and take care of the ball, he's going to be more valuable. If he can step up defensively, which I think that's the one area he has this year, then he's going to be more valuable. So he's just doing that consistently, where it's not just flashes and not really bad streaks like this and really good streaks and then really bad streaks and back and forth. That's what we need to see from him this year. So I just the decision making is what I have an issue with. If he's shooting good shots and missing them, fine. We know what shots he can hit, and I'm going to be more confident in him breaking out of that slump if he's taking good shots. When he's taking really tough shots, it's really easy to miss really tough shots because they're tough shots. So I think that's what he needs to look at first and foremost, and this team needs to look at. Maybe make things a little easier for him off the ball, but then he needs to dial it back just a little bit with the jump shooting.
Well, Mason says in chat he used to cut way more, catch lobs way more.
Yeah.
Like, what? Where is that? Like, I feel like he's not cutting at all.
Yeah.
And that's
what it feels like. I'm a star. The ball needs to be in my hands on the perimeter, like role players cut. You know, I'm not saying that's what he's thinking and that's his attitude, but like that's what he's playing like.
Yeah. Agreed. And so I made a tweet during this game that simply said, Shaden, please snap out of this funk. And several other replies are just talking about how it's because he's playing harder on defense and it's affecting his thing. And that doesn't affect you taking bad shots. So, like,
yeah.
If
he can't play this hard on defense and do anything offensively, then we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. He is. I feel like his on-ball defense on the perimeter has been really good this year. Now, if he gets drove into the paint, like you mentioned, sometimes he still backs off a little too much. That needs to be cleaned up. The first half of this game, especially, he was pretty bad off ball. He got the first few plays of this game. He got back cut several times. It kept falling asleep. Even after getting back cut, he get immediately back cut again. And you got to be more, got to have more recognition than that. But I do feel like, he has improved overall defensively. But I don't think that affects. Sure, it could affect whether he makes these tough shots he's taking, but that shouldn't affect his decision making to shoot them in the first place. And if that's the excuse, to me, that feels like someone who's not going to get much better if that's an excuse versus like, yeah, I gotta get better shots on offense. I gotta get cleaner looks instead of forcing these shots.
People love making excuses, man. People love making excuses. Even if it's, oh, he's trying on defense, so that's why he is going 7 for 24 offensively. If he's trying so hard on defense and is zapping so much of his energy, he probably shouldn't be putting energy into shooting 24 times when he's struggling to make shots against the Clippers in 32 minutes. Right? Like make the right play, make the simple pass, like simplify the game. But yeah, it's just decision making stuff. Like he got an offensive rebound, which resets the shot clock to 14, and he took like 2 dribbles away from the rim and shot a fadeaway 15-footer that he missed. And it's just like, is that the right shot in that situation? I don't think so. Like, you get an offensive board, go up strong with it, or if the paint's too packed, normally there's open 3-point shooters because the defense crashed the glass, or just back it out and work for a better shot. Like, there's just some of the decisions are I think making, like he's missing a lot of shots because he's taking a lot of tough shots. He needs to dial it back a little bit. And pick his spots a little bit better and start making reads again. Like he talked about, you remember his rookie year when he started like kind of, I don't want to use the word like obsessing, but he started talking a lot about making the pocket pass. And we saw him, that was the one pass he would just throw really well all the time on pick and rolls. He just hit the big man, pocket pass, pocket pass, pocket pass. When was the last time we saw him? Have we seen him make a pocket pass on the pick and roll this year? I mean, we haven't seen him run a ton of pick and rolls, I guess, so maybe that's not fair to him, but it's like what read is he making right now for teammates? Like he's had Klingon open on lobs rolling to the rim multiple times and just does not throw them.
Yeah, there was one in the first half where Sharp had Klingon was wide open, and just completely missed him, and then that was one of his turnovers, lost the ball. I was trying to get that play off of NBA.com, but it keeps showing video not available for all the plays. So, he's just not seeing the big very well. But in terms of what you're talking about, Klingon isn't really a catch the ball in the pocket pass area type big, so that could be it. It's not like, because you saw it with Reeves and Ayton tonight, especially when Young was in the game. Like, that's all they did was pocket pass to Ayton, and he'd shoot that little 10 to 15 footer. Whereas we don't have a big right now. I mean, maybe Rob will when he comes back, but we don't have someone that with Klingon, it's either a pick and pop out to the 3-point line where he has space to make a pass, or he's going hard to the basket. So I'm not going to kill him about not making the pocket pass when we don't really have that option available in our offense right now.
True, but he needs to learn to make other reads off the pick and roll.
Right.
He needs to read the guy tagging the big and kick out to the weak side corner. He needs to make the lob pass when it's there, which it has been multiple times this year, and he's not really throwing it. Like, that just has to improve. It just has to get better, man.
If they don't end up posting it on here, I'll go back and get it so we have it for one of our next shows. But like what we're talking about is just when he has Klingon cutting and he's like there's no one around the paint, you have to find a way to give him the ball, and you just like not even seeing him. It's weird.
Yep, it's strange. Kamara's struggling finishing and from 3. Which sucks because he had that preseason game. He made 4 threes in the first quarter or whatever it was.
So confident too.
Yeah, and now he's in a mental funk shooting the ball. He needs to keep shooting the open ones, I guess, and maybe hopefully it's just a bad stretch. But it would be a shame if he took a step back from the 37% he shot last year. It's weird that the 2 guys that just got extensions, though, are in massive funks offensively. I mean, Tamani had that 19-point game, but outside of that, he hasn't been particularly good offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Tamani's defense is as good as anyone in the league, though. Let's talk about Tamani's defense. The oh, we got Otani up. Bottom of the
Yeah,
17th,
so
two
just
outs. Are they going to intentionally
oh,
walk
they're
him?
showing a replay. I would.
They
I mean,
have a
he's
runner
four
on
for four.
first though, and you have Mookie Betts on deck.
There's 2 outs. I mean, I think you're stupid if you pitch the shot. Or like you pitch to him, but don't give him
Pitch
anything to
around
hit.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Uh,
that second homer, the pit, yeah, right down the middle. Um, are we headed towards the longest playoff game ever? 18 innings, is longest in history. Maybe, man. Maybe if they get Otani out here, he's 4 for 4. They got Little pitching to him. Oh, he's gonna homer off him. Little is brutal.
he's reached base 8 times.
8 times is insane. All right, sorry guys, a little detour here, and we'll get back. I do
Yeah,
want to
they're
talk
not
about some
pitching
of
to him.
these.
But throwing in the dirt is not smart.
8 times reaching
He
base
gets away.
tonight, postseason record. This dude can miss his spot though. They are pitching in there. That was pitch number 2. Are you ahead of me?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Wait.
Sorry.
No. Actually, now I'm live. All right, here we go. 2-0.
Yeah, they're just.
Third pitch down low. Yeah, they are pitching around him. All right. Yeah, but I think you're ahead of me. Okay, since you're ahead of me, let's distract you with Tamani Kamara's defense.
Yeah. I thought in the second half it was good. First half I was like I was a little worried. I was a little bit like, what is he doing out there? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He was not really pressuring. He was getting beat. He was getting cut on when he wasn't on ball.
Yeah.
9 times reaching pace is insane.
Comment in chess is true up, guys. We won. We talked about the good stuff. Now we're talking about the stuff that needs to be better. We talk about the good, the bad. And this Laker team had like 7 healthy players. So, yeah, we should have won. The standard is raised this year. So, we talk about the good and the bad. Everything's good over here. They didn't call that a strike. The umpire's getting tired. Wow. Tamani's defense, he's done a great job drawing fouls and like poking at the ball and like forcing turnovers and like flipping sides of the court. But in terms of the one-on-one defense, he's kind of been cooked a little bit this year, a little bit more than we're used to. Anthony Edwards did it on opening night, and I mean, those are great players. You can play great defense and still get scored on them by them, but like Austin Reeves today kind of got whatever he wanted. The Blazers have not done a good job defending stars, and I feel like a little bit of it's just like, for whatever reason, Tamani's, wow, he swung a ball 3.
Yeah.
Tamani is not locking guys up like we're used to, which is like cool, whatever. He's still trying an insane amount of offensive fouls and like helping force turnovers and helping pressure and like he's doing a ton of good stuff defensively. I just think like the one-on-one stuff is not at the level we're used to.
Well, it does. I don't know if this is by design or not. I mean, I hope it's by design the way we're playing. But, I mean, we've gotten cooked by the best player in every game we've played so far. So, like, part of me wonders if that's, like, kind of their game plan to just kind of, like, let Tamani be on an island and get cooked a little bit, but not ever, like, really help him out much. But, so that it might be as simple as that. But, I don't know. Yeah, I in the first half of this game, I was like, dude, what is Tamani doing on defense? Like, I was like, and the second half, he got back to pestering. He had that nice poke away, where they called the 8-second call on Reeves. When Reeves called off the screen, bad decision by him. But I also thought the Lakers, we had no answer for the Ayton Reeves pick and roll. And I felt like they went away from that. I I'm not really sure why they went away from that. Um, but yeah, I was. I mean, I'm not like worried about
No,
Tamani
of course
or
not.
anything.
It's
It's
just,
just
like that's the last thing I'd be worried about. I want to reiterate that real
mhm,
quick.
yeah.
Like it's just kind of what I've observed the first four games, but it's the first four
And
games of the season. Like he'll
thankfully,
be.
he made a lot of plays in the second half, so that's
Yeah,
all
he's
that
still making a ton of plays defensively. He's still forcing a lot of turnovers, drawing a lot of offensive fouls. Still doing a ton of good defensive stuff. I just think the one-on-one defense we're used to it being a little bit better, and I think he'll figure it out. Like, not worried.
Comment in chat. Where did Reeves find this whistle? I don't know, man.
I told
It's
you
every
last
call.
night. There's no if he was in a Blazer uniform, there's no way he would have 36 free throw attempts in 2 games on back-to-back nights. There's no way. There's no. Imagine Denny Avdia. He would average 30 a game if he was a Laker because he'd get 12 free throw attempts a game.
Got out of it. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, he popped it up. I just saw him pop it up. 18th inning. We might be done with the post-game show before this game is done at this rate. At this rate. Yeah. So the Blazers' next game, Eric, is against the Utah Jazz.
They beat the Suns tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
Beat the Clippers on opening night.
the Jazz look a little competitive. This is the type of game that would be a trap game, but maybe it's not a trap game because maybe they'll take the Jazz seriously, considering the Jazz are 2-1. The Jazz have a winning record, man. Tonight they won in OT, 138-134. Have you seen the box score for this game?
Well,
Have you seen who scored 51 points?
yeah, it was marketing. But did you hear what happened at the end?
No.
I forgot how much time was left. It was like 23 seconds or something. The Suns were down 7 and tied the game.
Really?
Yeah, Booker hit a 3, and then Markkanen got a bucket, and then Booker hit another 3, and then they got an offensive foul, and then Booker got fouled, made the first one, missed the second one, and they got a tip in to tie the game.
Wow. It's just to lose in overtime to the Jazz.
And they lost it overtime. Yeah.
Mark Williams 25 off the bench for them. Colin Gillespie 15. This is a wild box score. Isaiah Livers playing 21 minutes in the year of 2025. Yeah, so the Jazz had 51 from Laurie. He had 17 free throw attempts, made them all. 17 for 10, 17 from the free throw line. 14 for 32 from the field, so he wasn't even particularly efficient from the field. He got to the line a ton, though. So here's where we're tested, Eric. We keep letting stars go off, but they've all been guards, right? Reeves, well, Kawhi, I guess, is a forward, but he's like a ball-handling, like, forward, right? Lauri Markkanen isn't as much of a ball handler as like Anthony Edwards or Steph Curry or Austin Reeves or Kawhi Leonard. Is the Blazers defense constructed to slow down a guy like Lauri Markkanen with some of the good defensive forwards that they have to throw at him?
I think so. You got Denny and Jeremy to play 48 minutes against him. I feel like both of those are good matchups for those particular guys. Tamani's a pretty good defender for him too. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they want to stop Markkanen or they do the strategy that they've been doing and just let Markkanen get 50 and just don't let anyone else really kill you.
Yeah, wow. This is one of the most insane baseball games ever. Everything's hit at every defensive player. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I don't think it's a good idea to go into this game like, okay, we can let Laurie get his. Like, the goal should be to slow him down.
Right.
But you don't want to, like, sell out, I think is kind of the way to phrase it. You don't want to sell out to stop Lauri Markkanen. You don't want to leave him open from 3. So, like, that's not a guy to rotate off of. You want to rotate from maybe like a Kyle Filipowski. He had 3 points in 20 minutes today, right? Like Taylor Hendricks if he's in the game. Ace Bailey even. Like, you don't rotate from Laurie. So they start Keontae George, Svi Mikhailuk, Laurie Markkinen, Kyle Filipowski, Walker Kessler. Keontae George had 26 points, 10 assists. He feels like a Blazer killer, but I feel like they're the type of team that you can have make a lot of mistakes with your pressure. Keontae George, like, he's not, I wouldn't say he's the best ball handling point guard or the sharpest ball handling point guard. Like, he's kind of a, he had 10 assists tonight, but he's always struck me as kind of a bit more of a combo. More of like Anthony Simons type of guy, like a guy that will score, and then we'll have some games where he has 9, 10 assists, but he's somebody that might be able to be pressured. Like, that's a good matchup maybe for Tamani to pressure, and then maybe you put Denny on Laurie, or when Grant's in the game, you put Grant on Laurie. I don't hate that matchup for Grant. Just Grant has to be solid and not overhelp, right? You have forwards to throw at Laurie. It's can you slow down Keontae George? Can you force turnovers? Their backup point guard is a rookie. Now it's an older rookie. It's Walter Clayton Jr., but can you force him into some turnovers? Like, I think they don't really have any other ball handlers that I would trust. Like, the rest of their lineup, Svi Mikhailuk, not a ball handler. Laurie Markkinen, Kyle Filipowski, Walker Kessler, like, those are all kind of bigs. Even though Laurie plays the three, he's a 7-footer, like, doesn't handle the ball a ton. Like, he can score off the dribble for sure, but he's more like plays in the flow. Taylor Hendricks, Bryce Sensabaugh, Yusuf Nurkic, Ace Bailey. None of those guys are really ball handler types. I think that's where this defense, you can have some success, is if you can find a way to make Keontae George or Walter Clayton, whichever one's in the game, they'll play a little bit together, but if you can pester that guy and force him to give up the ball, and you can extend, if you can deny Keontae George in the backcourt and make Svi Mikhailuk bring it up or Kyle Filipowski bring it up, that's where maybe you can force some turnovers. So can the Blazers impose their style of defense on this Jazz team? I think they can. But if you overextend and you do get beat, like, don't let Laurie get hot from three. Try and rotate off of other guys on the backside. Like, that's the guy to worry about. I mean, Walker Kessler today had 25, but he's more like clinging.
I don't know. He's been awesome this year. He's turned himself into a passer. He's been shooting some threes, like, clinging. Like, he's been playmaking a little bit. It's like, whoa, where did that come from?
See, but like, if Klingen started doing that, we wouldn't be too surprised. Year 3, year 4, whatever year it is for Walker Kessler. I feel like, yeah. But he's been great.
I mean, Klingen showed a little bit of that at UConn.
Yeah, Kessler didn't really show that before.
Ranger has it. Yeah.
Now, but that's kind of what I mean. Like, he's not a ball handler type. Like, he'll shoot a stationary three like Klingen. He'll pass, but he's mostly like, he's just a big body. So that'd be my game plan. They're leaning heavy into this turnover forcing style. You should be able to force some turnovers against the Jazz. This would be a really nice game to win, just to move to 3-2 on the season. The schedule, the start of the year, is extremely, extremely tough. You're not going to get many games like this. You're not going to get many games like the game the Blazers got tonight, where you got to play the Lakers playing Bronny James 20 minutes, no Luka, no LeBron. So these are the types of games you have to take advantage of. The Blazers did a great job of doing that today, and now Wednesday you got a chance to be 3-2, which I know it's just 5 games into the season, but they haven't been above 500 at all at any point in like the last 2 years, the last 2 seasons. So yeah. Anyway, go win, because after this you have a gauntlet. If you can be 3-0 coming home against Denver, they beat Denver at home last year. Denver, the Lakers again. The Lakers could be without Luka and LeBron again at home. So you got some winnable games, man. Like, the Denver game's tough, but if you can go on a little, it's possible to go on a little run here. I think I don't know if they'll be favored at Utah, but I think they'll be favored at home against the Lakers with the pieces they're missing. And then Denver, that's an NBA Cup game, home game. If the Blazers are good this year, like that's the type of game that they can be competitive in and win. So after that November, it gets brutal. Like OKC, Miami's looked a little better than I thought so far this season. Orlando, New Orleans, Houston, Dallas. Like, yeah.
Have you seen the Heat offensive, like, what's been different about him?
Well, I noticed, I think last night's postgame show, I was looking at stats, and they were the one team with a faster offensive possession length than us.
But they also, as of right now, since it's been tracked, they're on pace to be by far the team that sets the least amount of screens on offense of all time. Since it's been tracked.
Which is really weird because they have two bigs.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're running like this hybrid fast break offense, but also like aren't running pick and rolls or anything in the half court.
I'm looking forward to getting into November, man. Like,
yeah,
I'm looking forward to the challenge of that schedule. I'm looking forward to the first NBC game on November 18th, 8 p.m. tip-off time versus the Suns. And then I'm planning on going to San Francisco to see them play at Golden State on November 21st. It's going to be a fun month of November, but it's going to be tough. They play OKC 3 times. They play San Antonio later in the month.
So get them out of the way.
San Antonio might be a top 3 team in the West this year. I forget where I had them. I think I had them 4th or 5th. But they look great. Dylan Harper looks great. Wemby looks like the MVP that I predicted him to be.
Another 3-2 count. Are you going to say that every single post-game stream?
Yes, man. Until he has a bad game, then I'll stop saying it. But,
right.
yeah. I forgot this game was on. Is this top? Okay. Completely forgot this game was on. Popped up and back. I wish you weren't ahead of me. Tori, did you give total wins prediction or just seeding in West? Just seeding. This is what we do every year. It's just the seeds. Video tomorrow, by the way. We'll go over some themes. Go over maybe a couple quotes. If you guys, how many of you watched the video that I dropped a couple of days ago? What'd you think of the style, the format? Let me know if you enjoyed it, because I was pretty happy with it.
Oh.
Spurs got the easiest schedule till January in the league. Is that true?
I don't know why they make that up.
Yeah, it's just surprising to me. I would think it would be like a team in the East with how much worse the East is every year. Walked them.
Ooh, that was close.
That was close. Walked them.
I think he held back just enough.
Yeah.
He wanted to swing so bad.
Oh, yeah, he held back. Yeah. So who they have? Who's their 6-hitter tonight? I think I would die if the Mariners were in an 18-inning World Series game. Maybe I'm glad they're not here, man, because I would probably die.
They're in an 18-inning divisional playoff game.
Yeah, well, they were already down 2-0, so it was already like
0-0.
You know, yeah, it was 0-0. So it went by a little faster than your normal 18-inning game. They're warming up Yamamoto.
Yamamoto pitched a complete game, 9 innings in game
insane.
2.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you do, man?
I don't know.
Do we just like watch the rest of this game and then watch it live? Like, Would you guys even have a post game if Mariners were in it? I mean, Eric might, but I would not be. I would
I
be.
would definitely get you. Yeah.
I would be dead. Like I would not. I would have a heart attack. I had a heart attack watching Game 5 of the ALDS. So I think that like yesterday, maybe today was the first day that I got over them losing Game 7 of the ALCS. It took me a whole week.
Friday would have been Game 1 of the World Series. He would have been on that show, and then
Yeah.
he probably would have been there for Sunday's show, and then definitely not tonight.
Yep. Yep. I would love to have Mariner games during Blazer regular season games. I would love for that to be a thing. But yeah.
Oh.
What? A spoiler.
Sorry.
Spoiler. What happened? Oh, wild
Why are you
pitch.
so far behind?
I don't know. I'm watching YouTube TV on my computer.
The runners advanced, yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I need to. Just watch Thiago's interview and he mentioned they want Jeremy looking for layups and threes, not shooting mirror shots, even though they know he has that in his game. Great coaching! Great freaking coaching.
That's what we said earlier, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Love it if that's what he's doing.
Yeah. The last stream got copyright claimed because I showed the Thiago interview, so I don't know why that happened. It's never happened on an interview before, so I have to try and figure that out.
Really?
Yep. By the NBA account. So, yeah, I don't really understand. What is he scraping off the bottom of his shoe?
Is it because you like showed it instead of just played the audio?
Yeah, but I've been showing interviews all off season.
Yeah.
And, like to start this year.
Why would the NBA do it, not the?
I don't know, man. It was NBA dash.
Why are they so? Dude, they're so opposed to people talking about their sport and spreading the game and.
No. They're cool with it. They just also like to profit off of it at the same time. Yeah. Been showing interviews for 6 years. Well, normally I just play the audio. Oh no, we show the video. We showed the video before. Yeah, I don't really.
You've been doing that the last few weeks, but you didn't used to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Is he gonna walk him? 3-1 pitch.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was a strike.
Although with the runners advancing and first base open, it might not be the worst thing to walk in.
Yeah, Straw on deck. He's not their strongest hitter. Who is this guy?
Oh, he got him.
Oh, man. I might have to end the stream to watch the rest of this.
What a crazy pitch.
Yeah, that's a crazy pitch. Wow. Anyway, anything else you want to cover?
No, just looking forward to Wednesday now. See if now that you mentioned it last stream, we got to see if the Blazers can get above 500.
I know, man. I know it's just a 3-2 record, but like, be cool to have more wins than losses, you know. Maybe it's because you weren't putting your own video on the screen during it. I mean, I didn't do that the first 3 games, so I don't know. And I
thought you did.
No.
I thought you had our cameras on there.
That was preseason. That was media day stuff. Yeah. So, I don't know. But anyway, we'll figure it out. Still more to do with these post-game shows that I'm working on. It's a work in progress. I'm trying to get some stuff coded so I don't have to manually make the bottom ticker graphics and all that stuff. But, yeah, you know, we'll ramp up the post-game shows. We're still warming up, just like the teams are still warming up with how turnover happy all the Blazer games have been. You know, 19 turnovers for them, 25 for the Lakers. The Blazers take care of business, though. They moved to 2-2 on the season. They win a game they should have won. It's nice to go into a game that we should win and actually take care of business. It's nice to have that feeling like we should win this game and not be mad on a post-game stream. So, hopefully we can start winning more, man, because it would be a fresh feeling again, you know, a fresh feeling. But yeah.
Well, it'd just be nice to have like a good winning streak or like not necessarily 10 out of 11, but you know, 5 out of 6 or something, and get like instead of that being like, oh, now we're only 10 games under 500, like we're actually whatever we do in that streak above 500 that many games.
Yeah.
But he just says, what is more likely by Wednesday, Blazers above 500 or this World Series game being
I want to see it go 20 innings. Either the Dodgers walk it off in the bottom of the 18th, or it's going to go to a 19th inning at least. But it would be cool to see 20 innings. I know there's a Blue Jays channel that I make like a coded scoreboard for that is streaming right now at like some bar or something. 11:49 p.m. So it's like, what time is it in Toronto? It's 3 a.m.
2:49, yeah. I think it's 3 hours ahead.
Ooh, Freddie barely fouled that. Anyway, real quick before we're out of here, shout out to Sleeper. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring the stream. You can use promo code Uprise and get a $100 deposit match up to $100. 100% deposit match up to $100. And you also get a free $20 entry as well. Great deal to take advantage of with the NBA season here. The World Series underway and forever ongoing, at least tonight. And NFL as well. Perfect time of year to get in on the action with Sleeper. Shout out to them for sponsoring the channel. Using the code Uprise also supports the channel, so you guys should at least just do it for us and the free $20 entry. Hit the like as well. Subscribe if you're new. Stay tuned for the video tomorrow, and we'll have another post-game show on Wednesday after the Blazers take on the Jazz. We'll see if they can take care of business and move to 3-2 on the season. The Blazers win. Denny Avdia continues to play great basketball. Drew Holiday has been an offensive revelation in Portland with his slow, methodical pace that works for him. And Austin Reeves scores 41, but it's not enough for the Lakers, the shorthanded Lakers. The Blazers win. We are out of here. Hopefully you have a good rest of your Monday night. We'll see you later this week. And until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers!